Good morning to our learners. Our topic for today is how do you breathe? Like other body movements, breathing is controlled by muscles. The lungs are surrounded by ribs, which have muscles attached to them. At the base of the lungs is called the diaphragm. It is a large dome-shaped muscles. You use these muscles to breathe. So if I'm going to illustrate that one, diaphragm is the base of our lungs. So this is the base. Now, the breathing process. When you breathe, your rib muscles and diaphragm contract. Remember the topic about muscles are working in pair? Same also in the process of breathing. So when we are breathing, our lungs and our muscles are working in pair also. In this part, as a result, your chest expands and you inhale. When these muscles relax, your chest contract and you exhale. So this is another process of muscles working in pair. So let's try to illustrate that one here in this diagram. So what is happening to our muscles here when we are inhaling and exhaling? When it comes to our rib muscles, remember that the rib is the bones and then the rib muscles is covered the rib cage. The rib muscles contract, expanding the chest cavity. Try now to inhale. So this process is inhaling and then try to hold your chest. When you inhale, the rib muscles contract and then it expand your chest cavity. A chest cavity is the spaces in the rib cage between the lungs. So you will observe that when you inhale and then try to hold your chest, you will feel that the chest cavity is expanding. Expanding meaning it is getting enlarged or large. Okay? Then, what happened now to your diaphragm? Try to hold now your abdomen. Okay? Because abdomen is near your diaphragm. So you can feel that the diaphragm contracts and then it flattens and expanding the chest cavity. So if you observe, the diaphragm is flattened now when you inhale. But when you exhale, okay, when you exhale, the rib muscles relax. Again, try to hold your chest again. And then when you exhale, you can feel that the muscles in the rib is relaxing. The size of the chest cavity is lessened also. Now the diaphragm now relaxes also, reducing the size of the chest cavity. So if you want to try it again, do it with your both hand, your right hand to your chest, and then your left hand to your abdomen. You can feel that the sizes of your chest is expanding when you are inhaling, and then when you are exhaling, it is becoming flattened. So the movement of your chest means that the muscles inside your body is doing working in pair because they are doing inhaling and exhaling. So one is expanding and or contracting, and then the other is relaxing. Okay, now let's go to the next part. Breathing and speaking. Did you know that the air that moves out your lungs when you breathe also helps you to speak? Remember that sounds is caused by vibration. Okay, so when where that thing happen, where does the vibration happen? Your larynx or the voice box is located at the top of your trachea. Two vocal cords, which are fold of connective tissue, stretch across the opening of your larynx. When you speak, muscles make the vocal cords contract, narrowing the opening of the air rushes through. So there is a vibration happening when you are opening your mouth, and then when you are opening your mouth and air passes through, that causes a vibration, and then when vibration happens, it causes a sound. I will show you a video how does sounds is created in our larynx. Okay. By the way, vocal cords is part of our larynx. If I show you here in this picture that this is the epiglottis, right? And then this is the part of the larynx, and inside the larynx you have the vocal cords. Okay, these two is called the vocal cords. When they vibrate, it created a sound. I will show you a video. Okay, as you observe, this two is the vocal cords. Okay, this two that is vibrating, that is the vocal cords. Actually, this is the stroboscopic sample of how do vocal cords move when we are humming or when we are talking. Okay, so again, this is the vocal cords, and the whole thing, mass of muscle there is called the voice box. Okay, so let's back to our slide. Now let's do the sequence. In the next underline, in the text, in the text, underline and number the steps involving in speaking. Then write this step in the graphic organizer. So this is our graphic organizer. So I didn't underline here already because I just want you to write it here. So the step number 1 here is vocal cords contract, narrowing the opening across the larynx. So as you see in the video, the vocal cords contract and narrowing. The spaces in the voice box become narrow when vibration is happening. Okay, then air molecules rushing through the narrow opening and started to vibrate, and then vibration causes the sounds. Okay, that is how we can talk, that is how we can sing, and that is how we can create sounds through our vocal uh, our vocal cords. Okay, so that is the way how we breathe and speak. Now let's proceed to this part. Let's identify where is the larynx located. So larynx is located at the top of our trachea. So if you remember, trachea is here. I will just show you where is trachea. Trachea is here. So that is on the top, so near the epiglottis. Larynx is located near, almost near the epiglottis. Now, let's proceed here to this question. Letter B. When you inhale, why does the air rush? The air pressure inside the chest is lowering than the air pressure. So it is because of the pressure. That's why air is rushing in the windpipe. Okay, so let's try to answer this one. I breathe when, now I know that I breathe when my muscles blank. So expand and contract. It expand and contract, which changes the size of my chest and let the air flow in and out. So when we are inhaling and exhaling, our chest is changing in size because muscles are contracting, and then in the other side also it is relaxing. Okay, so that is muscle working in pair. Now let's proceed to this part. What happened during the gas exchange? Remember that the respiratory system is responsible for the gas exchange. So what happened during the gas exchange? So take a closer look at the structure of the lungs. Air final stop in its journey through the respiratory system is an alveolus in the lungs. So remember that the last journey or the last travel space of gases is happening in our alveolus or alveoli. So that is the last journey step of the air gas exchange. So this is the lungs, right? So we have here two mass of muscle. So this is the bronchus, and then that tiny branches here is called the bronchioles. So along the bronchioles, alveoli is like a spear shape attached to the bronchioles. If you try to look at this one, okay, so this tiny spear shape is the alveoli, okay. So the alveoli is the last journey of gases exchange. So let's go back here. How gas exchange occurs. Imagine that you are a drop of blood. You are traveling through a capillary that's wrapped around the alveolus. So this blue and red wrapping the alveolus here, okay, is called the capillary. Remember this picture? Remember this picture in your circulatory system? That blood travels to our capillary, and this capillary is the loop inside our lungs. Remember this? I will repeat that blood travels through capillaries, and then remember the capillaries is responsible for the gases exchange, and this picture is inside our lungs. This thing is covering the alveoli. So I will go back here. So this tiny sac here is called the alveoli or alveolus. And then this blue and red here is called the capillary. Okay, so oxygen moving from alveolus into the blood. So remember that capillary is transporting the blood. Okay, and then now the alveolus is responsible for the gas exchange. So look at this one. The red arrow it represents the blood with full of oxygen, while the blue one, okay, is representing the blood with less oxygen. So carbon dioxide is moving into the alveolus from the blood. So this shows, okay, this picture shows that there is a gas exchange in capillaries and alveolus. Okay, now let's try to see this highlight. So this is the key point for this topic. After the air enters the alveolus, oxygen passes through the wall of the alveolus and then through the capillary wall into the blood. Similarly, carbon dioxide and water pass through the blood into the air in the alveolus. This whole process is called the gas exchange. So as I mentioned, this gas exchange is happening here. Okay, now let's proceed to the next, the surface. Okay, the surface area for the gas exchange. Your lungs can absorb a large amount of oxygen because of the surface area of the alveoli. An adult lungs have about 3 million alveoli. As a result, the alveoli provides a huge amount of surface area for the exchanges of gas. So, the more alveoli you have, the more gases exchange. The more surface for gas exchange. So the more alveoli, better. Okay. So this picture represents the vessel with blood rich in oxygen. So this red one. And then the blue ones represent the vessel blood which is rich in carbon dioxide or less oxygen. And then the branch is called the bronchus. If I try to illustrate this one in big picture, this look like this one. Okay. If I try to zoom out, this is like this. Okay. So that is the same, but I am just, zooming it out and in so that you understand. Now, let's try to answer the vocabulary. Identify the related forms of